going to see a Philtrum presentation, because my company, which is quite new, is called Philtrum. Philtrum means, in Old Latin, the small piece between the nose and the upper lip. And in many languages we know the saying about separating snot from beard. Thus, the word filter itself stems from this. That means if you use a coffee filter or something else, you are separating the important things from the trivialities. And that's exactly what Philtrum is going to do, according to producing IT in a secure and safe way in Greenland. So, this presentation is about Greenland as an IT nation in 2030. Let's go to the stuff.
The vision is clear. In 2030, the Greenlanders are in front. Not as a new Silicon Valley, rather as a highly skilled and educated IT population. Because since 2015, education in IT was mandatory and still is at any level, beginning with kindergarten to university level. Since 2015, schools, colleges and universities have trained children, unemployed and adults. All the disciplines from programming, system planning, database techniques, web interfacing to protocols, project management, application developments, video and radio creative networking. It's all inclusive. All these points are inclusive. Thanks to cooperation with University of Copenhagen and Danish university colleges, this was possible. There is not so far from gaming to robot technologies. Thus, the great distances in Greenland were circumvented by telemedicine, especially remote surgery. However, here in November 2014, the Greenlandic basis is almost near bottom. It couldn't be much worse. Greenland is considered unable to fulfill requirements according to safe harbor. That means neither compliance to own laws nor to international standards, according to data security, privacy and so forth. Greenland doesn't educate in informatics. Almost not at all. In Greenland we are mostly consumers and users. We are going to change that so that Greenland change from user to producer. We have to remove barriers to progress. That's the hard thing. But from this realization of the situation, just to move forward, I promise each step taken gets easier. The first steps are producing a comprehensive education plan. 2. Starting compliance to privacy legislation and international data security standards. 3. Opening project plans for server farming until the possible pathways to business models are found and specified. Greenland's information technology revolution. The first thing is we have to produce IT in Greenlandic. We are going to produce language packages to basic software as Office, operative system, browser and mail. As mentioned, compliance to own laws and to recognized international standards such as ISO 27001 and 27002 is necessary. We have to fulfill the requirements as soon as possible. And I'm proud to know that some of the work is almost in its beginning. Tele-Greenland has 2 sea cables, one to Denmark and one to North America. The theoretical maximum bandwidth is enormous. Just a very low percentage is in use. Let me tell what could we do immediately. First of all, we should prepare Greenlandic IT versions insofar as we are speaking of an Office package, a browser, and an operative system. It is a great advantage to the children and to the adult to work in their own language, not in Danish nor in English. Secondly, we should work towards safe harbor as soon as possible. A compliance program should be established immediately. The third thing we could do was that other countries, for instance Iceland and Faroe Islands, have done something similar. We should contact them and we should listen to experiences from Iceland and Faroe Islands. The fourth thing we could do was contacting Danish universities in order to establish IT education at university level in Nuuk or by the distance. Clustering. Greenland should already prepare for clustering. What is a cluster? A cluster is a multidisciplinary team specializing in a certain subject. The specialists might be doctors, marketing people, economists, programmers, sociologists, and so forth, and not to forget lawyers and project managers. Let's have a dream. Let's dream a little. What should be needed for establishing a telesurgery cluster? First of all, we would need several medicine specialists, surgery, X-ray, diagnostics, and so forth. Of course, the cluster should also consist of robot engineers specialized in mini manipulations and so forth. And we could go on. So, the idea here is Greenland should think about which clusters might be very nice to have in Greenland and which kind of specialists do we have already to build further on. Let us sum up this presentation. Philtrum suggests Greenland to do something where the Greenlanders themselves are active, not as fishermen or just as hunters and fishers, also not as users, no, also as producers inside information technologies. To make that change, something has to be done. First, at a very low cost, Greenland must produce language packages to an Office variant, to an operative system, to a browser and a mail client, all in Greenlandic language. Estimated yearly spending just 2 million Danish kroner. That's really not much. Next, through education, the young people should grow in self-esteem so they can see themselves in a modern society with new roles as supplement to other traditional ones. Greenland must therefore increase spending in information technology education. Next, direct barriers as non-compliance to privacy and information security standards should be removed as soon as possible. That's important. Let us return to the great education plan. The total work with it should be rolled out at all levels and the working with it should start as soon as possible. Next, Greenland should invite investors in secure server farming in Greenland. And the very last one, not the less important, the work on preparing for specialized clusters should begin as soon as possible. Thank you very much for your listening. I'm Mikael Hertig, Philtrum, Nuuk, Greenland. Greenland's information technology revolution.